morning.
We will continue again the next session after our break. I am Herny Tumiwa from Mulia. Basically, we are new for the human research. Officially, we just started in the 2021, but I will try my best to do a little bit presentation about the Mulia and the human research product as well. Okay, as you know that we have the big 5 islands in Indonesia. That consists of the 38 provinces. We have the Sumatra on the left side, we have the Kalimantan, we have the Java, Sulawesi, and we have the Papua. Of course, at this moment, a lot of investors coming to Indonesia because of our new regulation from our president. They don't allow to have to export at all. So they encourage investors to come and building a smelter in Indonesia. That's one of the reasons, because we have a lot of the product, such as like the nickel, and at this moment we notice that a lot of the investors from China, they are doing the investment, especially for the nickel, for the high pressure and aluminum leaching, especially in the big island. One island is in the Sulawesi and the other island in the Maluku. And Indonesia have what we call the bilateral agreement with the Chinese government to encourage the investor to come and do the investment in Indonesia. Even the Freeport also, as you know, that they are one of the gold mining, biggest gold mining production in Indonesia. They are located in the Papua. They are enforced to do the smelter, and they will build the smelter also in the Java Island near to Petrokimia Gresik in the Surabaya. That's actually the situation, what's going on in Indonesia. The company itself, we are actually new. We are established in the 2012. The shareholder is myself and our partner is Ms. Konstantin Nanchiloi. Of course, that based on our experience doing the similar business as before, and we know the customer very well, especially for Indonesia market. So far, our employees about 11 people with the one of the service technician who is helping the customer doing for the service of our other product besides NEA, because we know that NEA we have Arif there, and also sometimes with the help from the Mr. Waldemar service team, also from Chanti, or from Thailand team that to send somebody to help the Indonesian customer, especially for NEA product. This is our contract. And okay, we have the principal product. Currently, that's what's going on with our company. We have the one product from Germany. They are specialists for the agitator. They can do for the small agitator and even for the large agitator. They have the 2 divisions of agitator. One they call is the Kato RMT, and they do the engineering, they do the design, they offer everything to customer according to the requirement. The company itself is based in the southern of Germany, is close to the Swiss border. So every time if you would like to have the meeting there, and maybe either we flew to Frankfurt, but it will take about 4 hours to reach the factory, or the near place if we flew to Zurich, which is only 45 minutes from the factory. They have other division, what they call the cathode fluid. As you know that, in your market itself is sometimes it's not easy, because customer also is considered about the price. I think this actually the bottom line, especially where you are competing with the new unit. And And that's the reason why they have this another division, what they call the Encanto fluid. This is the standard agitator, who will be able even to compete with the Taiwanese product. But of course, in terms of the Chinese product, and I think that as long as we can give another advantages to them, like what I mentioned before, that we have the service technician who will be as the packets to the customer to do the installation and commissioning of the agitator itself. And that's actually the additional point for us to win the project. That's why we see that how important that we have the service technician for our product in Indonesia. Because there's something like the package to encourage people. Of course, if they are considered for the Chinese product, of course, in terms of the price itself is cheap, but how is the after sales support? I think that's also the customer has to think about. And then we have another one, what we call the Edward vacuum pump. They are specialists for the vacuum. They have the type of the product, what we call the dry vacuum pump. This is, this is for the process line, that when you need the pump in your process site, and then even you will have the product go into the pump itself, and there will be a filtration of the liquid before going to the pump. Of course, this dry pump is very special, but because there will be no maintenance parts. But in terms of the capacity, they are limited on the capacity because they are talking about only 1,000 meter cube per hour. Of course, if we are going with a slightly bigger one, and we call it the liquid ring pump. Liquid ring pump means that when you have the corrosive product, and then your pump itself has to be designed with the stainless steel or something with the alloy, and that makes the pump is more expensive. But in terms of range of the capacity, liquid ring pump, they can go until 50,000 meter cube per hour. Of course, if you go higher than that, you go with the steam injector. Steam injector means that customer have to prepare or to provide the steam. Of course, steam injector almost no maintenance, but we have to consider about the steam. And the steam cost actually is not cheap. And for this first quarter, we just able to sell the 1 unit of this pump is for the 250K for this product. We have the next one also is the German company, which is the filtration. They can do the filtration, they can do the washing, and they can do the drying. For this equipment itself. The company itself is about 45 minutes from Munich. And usually we only represent the reliable product, and especially from Europe. Okay, how is our revenue for the last 5 years? In the 2018, we are about, of course, we put everything is in euro because almost of our principal product is from Europe. That's why I put all in euro. 2018, we are almost about 132,000. 2019, we get a big spot because we win one project from our customer called the BPPI. Now the call is the INEOS. Of course, INEOS is slightly different management with the BPPI. I know that INEOS is bidding to buy the Manchester United club, but in terms of how they are going to manage the plant is slightly different because it's not easy to get the approval. Even now, even for the small money, they have to get the approval from the CEO. That's slightly different compared to the BPPI management time. And we sold 1 unit of the agitator for replacement of the existing reactor agitator with the power motor about 3.4 megawatts, with the shaft agitator diameter about 420 mm, and its cost about 4 million. That's the reason why we got the big stock for the 2019. Overall, we almost near to 1 million, and last year we achieved about 1.3 million something.
So this 13
is about 400, 500,000. Later on, I will show you about our forecast and our achievement for Newman and Laser. Okay, this is our strength for Indonesian customer. I mean, we are been in the market for sometimes we know about our principal product. I think that's the most important thing. When you meet the customer, you have the discussion with them, you know what you are selling, because you are not selling like the consumable product, but you are selling about the technical product. And this, I think, that's very important thing. We know about the customer because we have been dealing with them for so many times. We can give the backup. Of course, this also couldn't be forgotten to entertain them. I mean, that's the must. One of the reasons why you get the business in Indonesia. It's not the straightforward business as, I mean, maybe in Europe, but Indonesia is slightly different. And I think that's the one objective why we can maintain or increasing our order with customer. Of course, we only represent the reliable product, but the weakness maybe we are new, only 11 years. We have also the sales engineer, which is also new, the fresh graduate. And we don't have many products like OGPC. They have so many products, I mean, but we focus for what we have. And this is our forecast and performance. In 2021, we sell the 2 new units to the PT Eco Grid of the compressor. And in the 2021, we achieved about 484,000. This is excluding the 2 companies, which is the ESM and PTNE. And our budget for the 2022 is 450,000, and we achieved about 390,000, which is about 86%. So our forecast for this year is about 1 million, which is already including the 2 companies, that's PTNE and PTSM. That's especially for PTNE, we'll be working with them, especially for the 3 years contract. Of course, we are serving for the almost all the market in Indonesia, start from the oil and gas, petrochemical, pharmaceutical, but is really seldom because some pharmaceutical, I mean, the demand is there, but sometimes they do not make the decision faster. Customer only want you to come, have the discussion with you, but maybe they will take longer to make a decision. That's something like, I mean, they're wasting your time. Of course, they have the interesting on it, but decision will take longer. Of course, we currently we also have what we call the palm oil refinery, which is, I mean, that if you see that there are some of the project coming, because they have the agreement with the Indonesian government to produce the biodiesel plant. They have the contract for the long-term contract, which is depending on the customer itself, could be start from the 5 years until 10 years. And they have to meet the quota of the agreement with the government. That's why they keep buying the biodiesel plant, and at the same time there is the requirement for the hydrogenation plant. And that's why they have the requirement for the hydrogenation compressor. It's happened especially for this palm oil company, because usually how they work in Indonesia when they are going to build a new plant, either they will go with the dispatch, which is in Malaysia, they will go with the Jijilugi, which is also known about the technology, and they will go also with Lipico. This the only 3 companies that you have to look for, especially related to Indonesian palm oil, because as you know that when they have the new project coming, they will call these 3 players to submit the code to them as the lump sum package. And then everything, the equipment itself, the plant itself will be built by the dispatch, by the dispatch or by Lipico or Jijilugi. And after 1 year, they will hand over to customer. Actually, that's our experience, and that's why what I can suggest here that it is better to build especially for new units, to put the relationship with the dispatch, Julugi, and Lipico, because they are most of the palm oil or refinery in Indonesia built by them. Of course, we have a lot of customers in Indonesia, but not only for the NEA product, this also including the other principal product, but for NEA itself, we work with the fertilizer company, we work with the Sama Mandiri, we work also that I called before the BBPI, which is actually very good management, but now is under the INEOS, and usually that's the approval is under the INEOS management, it will take longer. It's really longer time, even only for the small money. And somehow that's our friend on the maintenance, they inform us that even they would like to do the upgrading, but the approval will take longer time. And it's not easy also for them to make how to justify, how to keep the product reliable, how to keep the equipment reliable, because in the one states that they need to get the approval from the management. In the other term that they have to keep the product reliable and the equipment reliable. This, I think, the hard time for them. But let's see. This is all our Indonesian customer. We are doing also with the Mitsubishi. Also there is the Musimas, Petrokimia Gresik, Sorinitoa. Okay. With reference to who is our competitor, especially for new units, we are competing. Mitsui is there, Howden is there, because the Bukat also is there, because they are also inactive, especially in our area. But for the spare part itself, especially related to the valve and the piston ring, there is sometimes local manufacturer also can do, but Cookmanly also is active there. And what we understand that there is the one Singaporean company that called the palm product, which is that's quite active, visiting Indonesian customer to make the duplicates of OEM parts. Not only for the compressor, but also for the palm also, they are active in our area. Okay, this is what we think that maybe we can booster our Indonesian market. That's I mentioned before that we try to finalize the contract with the Herny for the 3 years contract. Of course, this is not easy because we have to keep the price for 3 years. But with this situation, I think that we have to discuss with them how should be the agreement. But I think if we finalize this contract and we could achieve what we forecast with the human Asia this year.
Just information, before pandemic, before Russian crisis, it was easy for us given 3 years crisis. Now I hope no more pandemic, no more wars, we can go back to normal.
We hope so. Of course, we have also some of the borsig machine. This is the bigger machine in the fertilizer, but this is really not new and not easy for us because as you know, the borsig ZM is still, they are still in this competition, and they keep coming also to visit customer. Even we visited, we declare us the really OEM of this equipment, but in the turn of the customer itself, sometimes now they are thinking that whoever is the lowest, and then they will buy the parts. It will not be easy for us because sometimes also they go with the e-action to bidding for the parts of the borsig compressor, because the borsig ZM can duplicate, or they have the document related to this compressor. They have the database. Of course, last year also Mr. Wodemar and Janos also, they went to the Pertamina Balikpapan, see about the problem of the existing instrument compressor because of the foundation and vibration. That's why now we are working with them. Of course, we have the closely follow up with them, the discussion with them. Main point that they may start only one, not for the 3 compressor. That's the most important thing, because the budget proposal that we submitted to them for the 3 is really, it's really high. And that's why maybe they will consider one. So the next step that we should meet them and we should meet the decision maker to discuss in detail about how should we go with this reporting and the regrowing of the instrument.
Shall we meet them in May, first week of May?
This then one I will arrange. Of course, if we believe that now we'll have also the program to do the training for our service, for our technician, or our engineer, and that we are eager to send them to learn more about the human and nature product.
By the way, this could be really the first project of foundation repair with this particular technique that we want to show you today. So if we get this job, maybe it's a very good reference for everybody, because these are huge machines driven by steam turbine with a gearbox, maybe, I don't know, 3-4 megawatt of installed power, so huge machine. If we are successful with this project, okay, maybe the wedge to enter this market, that is a rich market, because we have no competition.
And of course, we try to encourage our salespeople also to know about the product. So visit customer, they keep in contact also with all our friends that they are now in the top position of the company. And I think that's the strong point that we can support NEA for future. And we have the one case of the successful story. This, like I mentioned to you before, Wilmar is the electrochemical company. That they have the big contract with the Indonesian government to build up the biodiesel plant, the hydrogenation plant. And actually, this equipment was sold to GG Luji in 2000. And this is only the small machine. There are 2 small machines for the Wilmar group. One for the Wilmar Nabati in Asia, which is based in the Gresik, and the other one for the Wilmar Bioenergy in Asia. They are in the Pelintung. So the compressor itself is the 1TEV 124 with the machine number and the part number, and the other one also for the 1TF 130. So with these 2 small machines, that we meet the decision maker, we have the discussion with them, and we strongly recommend them to have the human and nature transfer. In the same time also, we encourage them to have the human and nature service technician, to help them, to teach them how to do the repairing of the compressor itself during the shutdown. And that's why we send Arif for the plant in Gresik and Santi for the plant in Pelintung. And with this all supporting from human nature and our link with the decision maker, we try to push the spare part order of these 2 machines. And the total order that we received in the 2021 for these 2 companies is the 324,154. And last year, in the 2022, we received about 264,372. This year, we already encouraged them also to buy another new piston rod that they are going to buy. We give also the recommendations that they are going to go with the PR process, and I think we still can keep the same amount as what they ordered in the last 2. chief is supporting also from the NEA team, because service team also is very important. They give the recommendation. Customer most like will be listening to them, and that's why they keep caring about the order with the approval of the decision.